Imagine the most elite warriors in the world, the U.S. Navy SEALs, losing mission after mission. Men trained to be unstoppable, suddenly failing in ways no one could explain. Until a woman they underestimated uncovered a truth so shocking, it changed the battlefield forever. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear is based on events that will leave you speechless. And before we dive into this jaw-dropping story, smash that subscribe button and hit the bell icon, because you don't want to miss the stories that make your heart race and your jaw drop. The SEALs were legends. Their name alone sent chills down the spine of any enemy. But now, their reputation was crumbling like sand under a storm. In the last 8 months, 6 classified missions had failed, leaving bodies behind and questions unanswered. High-value targets were escaping, hostages were dying, and billion-dollar equipment was being lost. Washington was furious, the Pentagon was panicking, and the media was circling like vultures hungry for the kill. Inside the SEAL teams, the tension was electric. Men who had once trusted each other with their lives now looked at one another with suspicion, whispering about bad luck, bad intel, or worse, betrayal. When the 7th mission went south in Syria, it broke the last straw. A clean extraction turned into a bloodbath when enemy fighters ambushed the SEALs with perfect precision. 2 men dead, 3 critically injured, and a mission that should have been textbook was now a national embarrassment. That's when she appeared, Lieutenant Commander Evelyn Hayes. She wasn't a warrior, at least not the kind the SEALs respected. No scars, no war stories, no battlefield glory. She was a cyber intelligence officer, a data genius who lived in shadows and spoke in algorithms. The men hated her before she even opened her mouth, because to them she was a reminder that brains were now as important as bullets. But Evelyn didn't care about their stares or their arrogance. She had one job: find the problem, or this entire program gets shut down. When the Admiral said those words, the entire room went silent. Evelyn stood there, calm and cold, her eyes scanning the warriors who looked like they wanted to throw her out of the room. Then she said something that made every jaw drop. "You're not losing missions. You're being hunted from the inside." When Evelyn started digging, she didn't find answers. She found chaos. Every mission report was riddled with inconsistencies. Every failure followed a pattern nobody had seen before. To the untrained eye, it looked like bad luck. To Evelyn, it looked like sabotage. Someone wasn't just leaking intel, they were orchestrating every failure like a maestro conducting a symphony of death. As the days turned into sleepless nights, Evelyn uncovered something chilling. The leaks were happening seconds after mission data was uploaded to the classified system. That meant the traitor wasn't a random hacker or an enemy spy. It was someone inside the chain of command with access to the highest levels. She tried escalating it, but every time she got close, the evidence vanished, erased like it never existed. Then came the warning. A handwritten note slipped under her secure office door in the dead of night. "Stop digging, or they'll bury you where they buried the last one." Evelyn knew then that this was bigger than anything she'd imagined. She went to the SEAL team, but they laughed in her face. To them, she was a desk jockey spinning conspiracy theories. All except one man, Chief Petty Officer Ryan Cole. Tall, scarred, and with eyes that told 100 untold stories, Ryan didn't trust easily, but something about Evelyn's fire made him listen. When she showed him real-time proof that someone inside the system had rerouted drone feeds during their last mission, Ryan's blood ran cold. Together, they formed an uneasy alliance, one built on suspicion and desperation. And then, they stumbled upon something that changed everything. The next mission wasn't just another operation, it was a trap. And every SEAL on that mission was walking into certain death. The next mission was in the mountains of Yemen, a simple snatch and grab of a high-value target, at least on paper. But Evelyn had decrypted something horrifying. The enemy already knew every detail, down to the exact route the SEALs would take. She tried to warn command, but her access was revoked, her clearance pulled, and she was ordered to stand down. That's when she realized the truth. The traitor wasn't just in the system. They were running it. A high-ranking officer, someone sitting in a room with medals on their chest, was selling out America's best for money and power. Evelyn had two choices: obey and watch good men die, or break every rule and stop it herself. She chose the latter. Disguised as a comms officer, Evelyn hacked into the live satellite feed during the mission and rerouted encrypted data to Ryan's private comms. When the team landed, Ryan heard her voice in his earpiece. "You've got less than 5 minutes to change your route or you're all dead." He didn't ask questions. He trusted her. That trust saved lives, but it also exposed her. The traitor realized someone was interfering and activated the kill switch. A drone strike aimed at the base SEALs themselves. Evelyn jammed the signal, barely saving the team. But in doing so, she triggered a manhunt. Not for the enemy, but for her. Overnight, Evelyn became the most wanted person in the Pentagon. Branded a traitor, hunted by her own government, she had nowhere to run except deeper into the shadows. Ryan risked everything to hide her because by now he knew the truth. The real traitor was Admiral Brooks, the man running the SEAL program himself. The question was, why? Evelyn dug until she bled and uncovered the final twist. Brooks wasn't just selling intel. He was orchestrating global chaos to drive defense contracts worth billions. The deaths, the failures, the blood, they were all just numbers on his ledger. And now, Brooks wanted Evelyn erased before she could expose him. Evelyn knew this was her last chance, the final card she could play before everything came crashing down. Every second mattered because Admiral Brooks wasn't a man who left loose ends, and right now, she was the biggest loose end of his career, and his billion-dollar empire of betrayal. The air inside the Pentagon that night felt heavy, thick with tension, as Evelyn moved like a ghost through the corridors, dressed in a stolen uniform, her credentials forged by the same systems she once built. Beside her, Ryan Cole was a silent storm, his jaw clenched, his eyes scanning every shadow like a predator waiting to strike. They weren't just breaking the law. They were breaking into the very heart of America's military power, the place where trust was supposed to be sacred. One wrong move, and they'd vanish into black sites, their names erased, their families told they died in service. But Evelyn didn't care anymore. The truth mattered more than her life now. They reached the Admiral's private office, and for a second, Evelyn froze. Behind that steel door was the evidence that could destroy Brooks, or bury them both forever. Ryan placed his hand on her shoulder, his voice low and calm. "We go in. We don't come out until it's done." With a deep breath, Evelyn hacked the biometric lock, her fingers flying over the portable rig like lightning, overriding systems she once helped design. The door clicked open, and the room beyond was a temple of power. Walls lined with classified files, multiple encrypted servers humming like predators waiting to strike, and a single desk that looked more like a throne than a workspace. Evelyn didn't waste time. She slid into the chair and plugged in a black drive, launching a code that tore through Brooks' encryption like a blade through silk. Every secret spilled before her eyes. Payment trails to terrorist networks, documents authorizing the deaths of American soldiers, plans for future missions designed to fail so defense contractors could cash in on chaos. Evelyn's heart pounded, not from fear, but rage. This wasn't just betrayal, it was treason at the highest level. She transferred everything, but before the final file could load, alarms shattered the silence. Red lights bathed the room in an eerie glow as a cold voice boomed over the intercom. "Unauthorized access detected. All units respond." Ryan grabbed his rifle, his eyes locking on Evelyn. "We're out of time." But then the door opened, and there he was, Admiral Brooks, immaculate in his white uniform, a smirk curling his lips like a snake. He walked, inflanked by 4 armed guards, his presence dripping arrogance and power. "You really thought you could beat me, Evelyn?" he said, his voice calm, mocking. "You? A desk jockey playing spy? You've just signed your death warrant, and his too." He nodded toward Ryan, and the guards raised their weapons. For a heartbeat, the world slowed. Evelyn's mind raced, but then a glimmer of hope. Her final move. Without breaking eye. Contact. She pressed a key on her device, and suddenly, Brooks's confident smirk faltered as he noticed the small green light blinking on the desk camera. They were live. Every word, every image was being broadcast across encrypted channels to major networks, to government watchdogs, to the very people Brooks thought he owned. "Smile for the world, Admiral," Evelyn said coldly. "They're all watching." Rage twisted Brooks's face, and he lunged, but Ryan moved like lightning, knocking one guard unconscious with a brutal strike, disarming another with a bone-crunching twist. Gunfire erupted, the sound deafening inside the steel walls, bullets, sparking off reinforced panels as Ryan turned the room into a storm of violence. Evelyn ducked, shielding the drive with her body, while Ryan fought like a man possessed, his every move fueled by loyalty and fury. 2 guards down. 2 more too. Go, but Brooks wasn't done. He grabbed a weapon himself, aiming straight at Evelyn's head. Time froze. Then a single shot rang out. But it wasn't Brooks pulling the trigger. It was Ryan. The Admiral dropped his weapon, clutching his shoulder, screaming in pain as Ryan kicked him to the floor, pinning him down with the same ruthlessness Brooks had shown to his own men. The feed captured everything, the lies, the greed, the blood. By the time military police stormed in, summoned by the live broadcast and the alarms, Brooks was in cuffs, his empire of treachery collapsing in real time. Evelyn stood there, breathing hard, her hands trembling as she held the drive that had cost so many lives. She should have felt victory, but all she felt was exhaustion, the weight of every secret she now carried. They offered her medals, protection, a new life, but Evelyn didn't want glory. She vanished from the public eye, erased by choice, her name whispered only in the deepest shadows where wars are fought without headlines. Some say she runs a Black Ops unit now, others believe she disappeared into another identity, living quietly, far from the chaos she once dismantled. As for Ryan, he went back to the teams, silent as always, carrying the memory of the woman who saved them all without ever firing a single shot, except when it counted. And the SEALs? They never lost another mission after that, because one woman had the courage to fight the war no one could see and win it.